Joe Biden is waging war on the U.S. auto industry with a series of crippling mandates designed to force Americans into expensive electric cars. That's just what you want.
Trump weighed in on the dispute tonight with harsh words for President Biden, the transition to EVs, and what he says it will mean for jobs.
Discover the electric battle that's dividing a nation. Trump's urgent call to halt EVs versus Biden's green electric vehicles dream. Who's going to drive America's future? In a turn of events that has sent shockwaves through the political and automotive industries alike, former President Donald Trump has issued an immediate warning to stop the production of electric vehicles, EVs, altogether. This announcement has created a firestorm of debate, questioning the visions of a future powered by clean energy against concerns over economic stability and national security. But what's at the heart of Trump's dire warning, and why has it caused such an uproar? Let's unfold the details, revealing the complex web of policies, opinions, and technological challenges that define this monumental clash between Trump and Biden. At the core of this controversy lies a battle of ideologies between Trump and current President Joe Biden. Biden's ambitious push towards an EV-dominated future, with hopes of significantly reducing carbon emissions, has faced fierce opposition from Trump. But what exactly is Biden doing which seems so unacceptable to Trump at the moment? The Biden administration has been actively promoting the transition to electric vehicles as part of its broader clean energy and climate change agenda. A cornerstone of making EVs more affordable for consumers is through financial incentives, notably federal tax credits. These tax credits directly reduce the amount of income tax owed by an EV buyer, effectively lowering the upfront cost of purchasing an EV. For example, a $7,500 tax credit on an eligible EV purchase can significantly reduce a buyer's tax bill, making EVs financially attractive to a wider audience. And this is only a minor contribution to upscale EV consumption. The other incentives will definitely shock you. You won't believe it, but trillions of dollars are being invested by the government just to make sure you are buying an EV instead of gas-powered engines. Biden's policies include the Inflation Reduction Act and the Infrastructure Law, which provides significant incentives for EV purchases. Build out charging infrastructure and support the domestic manufacturing of EVs and their components. On a strategic level, the Biden administration has unveiled a $3.1 billion plan to increase domestic manufacturing of batteries for electric vehicles. This initiative, funded through the $1 trillion infrastructure law, aims to support the construction, retooling, or expansion of battery manufacturing facilities, including those for components and recycling. These efforts are part of a broader goal to have 50% of all new vehicle sales be electric by 2030. Till now, the future of EVs seems promising and certain. But here comes the twist. Donald Trump, with all his efforts, is actively warning the automotive industry to back off from EVs before it gets too late. Surprisingly, despite the rising popularity of EVs, the automotive industry has started to face a setback too. Trump's pledge to roll back these policies on his first day, if re-elected, had an aggressive aim to protect traditional auto jobs and maintain the industry's independence from what he perceives as overreaching environmental policies. "You're going to lose your beautiful way of life," Trump told the crowds. For auto workers, Biden's forced transition is a transition to hell. And when Trump boldly speaks against Biden's policies, it's not out of competition or race, but with a vision about the future, which might be covered behind the rising EV popularity and its benefits. Trump's claims about the EV market include concerns over job losses, with estimates suggesting that transitioning to EVs could result in the loss of hundreds of thousands of American auto jobs due to policy failures and a lack of investment in domestic battery and drivetrain production. At the core of Trump's professed hatred of Biden's EV push is an argument that the technology harms American workers, and the harm to workers might be recovered in the short term, but the loss it could potentially do to the economy of the U.S. would be unbearable. We are now going to reveal harsh realities from the perspective of Trump that'll make your jaws drop. The United States has been increasingly dependent on China for electric vehicle EV production and battery technology, which is leading to significant economic and strategic vulnerabilities for the U.S. Trump highlights the complex geopolitics of the global EV market, where China has evident control over a significant portion of the world's battery production capacity and the supply of critical minerals such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel. But is it only the batteries and supply chain that has been in control of China for this EV market trend? Definitely not. China's EV market has demonstrated remarkable growth and profitability, starkly contrasting with the challenges faced by the U.S. EV sector. Chinese electric vehicle giant BYD is a prime example, forecasting an impressive net profit increase of up to 86.5% for 2023, complemented by strong sales and effective cost management strategies. This growth is significantly higher than the previous year's net profit surge, indicating a robust expansion and increasing dominance in the EV market. BYD's success has been attributed to its rapid overseas sales growth by the West, supply chain advantages, and the cost control capabilities. In the final quarter of 2023 alone, BYD became the leading EV maker by sales, surpassing Tesla by delivering more vehicles. This performance is part of a broader trend where China's EV market is on course to smash its 8.5 million sales target for 2023, driven by promotional campaigns and a push for EV adoption in rural areas. China's strategy of adjusting prices and sales strategies has led to a significant increase in EV deliveries from January to August, showcasing a 36% year-on-year growth. Despite facing the challenges such as stiff competition and slowing demand in its largest market, China, CATL, the world's largest EV battery maker, also expects notable profit growth, although at a slower pace compared to its previous year's performance. CATL's forecast for 2023 includes a net profit increase of 38.3% to 48.1%, marking a shift from the dramatic 92.89% net profit gain in 2022. This performance reflects the intense competition within China's EV battery market, with CATL and BYD commanding significant shares, while on the other hand, U.S. market losing customers because of the poor performance of batteries. Notably, EV sales in North America saw a 78% increase this year, highlighting a global shift towards electric mobility. But was this a 78% increase in sales of U.S. EV makers too? What we're going to unfold next will blow your mind. The U.S. EV sector, instead of capturing this increase, facing significant losses reported by major automakers as they navigate the transition to electric vehicles. Ford, for example, has projected a staggering $3 billion loss for its EV business unit in 2023 alone, highlighting the financial strain of ramping up electric vehicle production and development. Ford specifically is losing an estimated $36,000 on each EV sold in a recent quarter, which underscores the financial hurdles automakers are facing in the EV transition. And if you're wondering if there might be some internal issues with Ford, then think again, because Ford alone is not facing the turbulent waters. On the global stage, Tesla and other key players have also felt the impact of shifting market dynamics. Tesla's valuation takes an $80 billion hit following warnings of a sales growth slowdown. Keeping the analysis of the current situation, Trump is furious about cutting back its own economy for the sake of EVs. China is determined to dominate that market, with EV electric vehicles predominantly made in China and Chinese jobs. The previous administration was content to sit on the sidelines and let China take all these jobs. But I won't let that happen, says Trump. Now, the clash between Trump and Biden over EVs is not just about the vehicles themselves, but represents deeper ideological divides over the future of energy, the environment, and the economy in America. If both of the leaders have solid points to back their ideologies, then who is on the right path? It will come as little surprise that anyone paying attention that Trump's speech was filled with half-truths. He claimed that if the U.S. pursues EVs, the American auto industry would shut down within a few years as jobs move to China. In reality, most analysts think building EVs in the U.S. will help the country better compete with China. And he repeated a range of talking points slamming EVs as bad cars. Charging indeed poses a challenge in some places, but surveys find high levels of consumer satisfaction with the cars. And now comes the major conflict related to EVs Donald Trump has been using to stop the transition in the automotive industry. Trump has criticized electric vehicles, EVs, for their practicality, focusing on the high costs going up to $22,000 for a single car for repair and maintenance. He argues that these costs make EVs less practical for everyday use, and this is surely why most of the consumers are hesitant to go electric. But the question arises, has any one of you practically tested it? Because what's coming up next might prove you wrong so badly. Recent industry data shows that while electric vehicles, EVs, do generally cost more to repair than gas cars, the difference is not as significant as some might fear. The average repair cost for EVs is about $4,474, only $269 more than the average for all vehicles, which stands at $4,205. However, Tesla vehicles are an outlier, with repair costs averaging $5,552, significantly higher than the industry average. This is partly due to Tesla's use of large gigacastings and sophisticated technology, like cameras and sensors, which are more expensive to replace. Navigating the choppy waters of EV adoption and repair costs, automakers are at a crossroads where innovation meets reality. This delicate balance is further complicated by regulatory demands and huge incentives pushing the industry towards electrification in the middle of financial and logistical constraints faced by EVs. The regulatory landscape, described by some as a trap, has led to significant financial losses. These losses, coupled with the Environmental Protection Agency's EPA latest regulatory moves, have added fuel to the fire, with many in the industry calling for a reevaluation of the push towards electric vehicles. Will the dream of an EV future prevail, or will the challenges and controversies highlighted force EVs to shut down altogether? If you're planning to buy an EV, don't forget to watch this video, which has everything you need to know before making this conflicting decision.